Hello and good evening students and welcome back to Global Online Platform. This is Chandni Swarnakar and today we are going to cover two important writers of postmodern age, of course, for English literature of Maharashtra SET 2024. If you are preparing, go through the video and be a good student, okay? So we are going to cover Arnold Wesker and John Osborne today. You can get my lectures at 8 p.m. on a daily basis. But before diving into the video, let me share that there is a great opportunity to prepare smartly for the April 2024 Maharashtra SET. Global Online is offering a comprehensive English literature course. You'll have access to video lectures that explain concepts using short and effective methods. The course also provides downloadable PDF format, basically notes in PDF format for your convenience. Additionally, you'll get mock tests that stimulate real exam conditions, boosting your final preparation. To learn more, reach out to the provided contact number. Now, if you want to watch the free video, first download the Global Online app. Once you are in, head to the source section. There you'll find details of all the courses. Use the search bar to directly type in the course name and you will see an overview along with fees for the duration. Okay, click on the content section. You will find unit wise folders. In each unit you will get theory lectures, evaluation notes, mock tests and MCQs. No need for extra reading. Now if you decide to join the paid course, you will also be added to a WhatsApp group. In that group you will receive PDF for each session along with the videos link. It's a great way to stay connected and get additional resources. Happy learning. Okay, happy learning with me basically. So now let's start with the first writer we have here. The first writer is Arnold Wesker. Okay, Arnold Wesker's important works are like The Kitchen, other works like Chicken Soup with Barley and Roots, and I'm talking about Jerusalem. There is a trilogy that you need to cover. Also the characters are important and along with the themes, right? So first of all you need to understand the writer's biography or some details related to Arnold Wesker. So he was born in 1932. First thing, wait a minute. He was born in 1932 and died in 2016. Do remember, he was born in 1932 and died in 2016. He is an English dramatist. Okay, English dramatist and author of 50 plays. Like you can count his plays, short stories, essays, children books and other poetries. Okay, you can count them on your fingertips. So author of 50 plays, 4 volumes of short stories he wrote, 2 volumes of essays he wrote, a children's book he wrote, and some poetries you can include it. Okay, now it's very important when we are covering a writer, we have to cover the works. Okay, so let's start with the work of Arnold Wesker. The first work is The Kitchen. Okay, and you can imagine that it must be related to the kitchen or setting must be in a kitchen. Okay, so let's do this. So it's a first and most performed play of what? Of Arnold Wesker. Okay, so first and most performed play is The Kitchen. And basically play follows the staff in a cafe's kitchen during the course of a busy morning. Like there's a busy morning, everybody is doing one's own things, and a play is based basically the staff in a cafe's kitchen, you can see, and like in a busy morning, how will they perform? Like they must be busy doing their own stuffs like here and there and running and going there and right. So that will be the thing. Now moving on to the second work of, second work is Chicken Soup. Okay, Chicken Soup with Barley. Chicken soup with what? Barley. It's like I am ordering something. Please order it. Like I would have a chicken soup with barley. It seems like that, but it's not. It's a work name. So it was actually 1956 work, and I told you that Wesker wrote a trilogy. Okay, so this is the first work of the Wesker trilogy. Which work? Chicken Soup with Barley. Now you will get other works as well, followed by Roots, and I'm talking about Jerusalem. I just showed you that, right? Now understand the basic structure of this work. Okay, so it's of course the first of the Wesker trilogy, but the play is split into 3 acts. It has 3 acts and each act with 2 scenes. Okay, each act with 2 scenes. Now it spans 20 years of the lives of the Jewish immigrant Khan family. Now, I can read it as Khan, but it's not Khan. Khan will read it. In 1936, London, and traces the downfall of their ideals in a changing world parallel to the disintegration of the family. Like you can see that there is an immigrant, Jewish immigrant Khan family living in 1936 London, and actually you'll see the downfall of their ideals. Like of course world is changing, right? If you believe something, you have to change in certain way, because maybe your belief is not very reliable in a certain age, right? In your age or today's age, right? So that way the ideals in a changing world parallel to the disintegration of the family, you will see here. That is it, you need to remember. Now characters also, you need to remember the character. The first character is Sarah, and I'll tell you some details related to Sarah. Then Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, but there is Harry. Ada, there is a song of Ada of Akshay Kumar. Then Ronnie. Okay, so Sarah was based on Arnold Wesker's aunt. Okay, so the whole character of Sarah was based on Arnold Wesker's aunt, Sarah Wesker. Okay, who was a trade union activist in the East End of London. So you don't need to remember this, but just remember that Arnold Wesker's aunt actually is very similar or based on the character Sarah. Okay, now the third work is Roots, the second trilogy work. It's a play, 1958 work, second play in the Western trilogy, as I told you. Now let's cover the plot line. Okay, so the plot revolves around the Bele family, specifically focusing on Betty, who returns home after spending time in London. Okay, so the plot basically revolves around a family, Bele family, and specifically focusing on Betty. There is a character, Betty. Now Betty challenges the traditional values of a rural family by introducing them to her new, more progressive ideas. It feels like me. It feels like you. It can be related to you as well, because of course we are in an age where ideas, values are changing, right? And we have family members, our family members believing in a traditional values, and someone in our family basically challenges all of that. So it's like Betty can be you, Betty can be you as well. Betty challenges the traditional values of a rural family by introducing them to her new progressive, more progressive ideas. Okay, so maybe you are doing the same, or maybe I am doing the same to my family. Who knows? Okay, so the fourth work is, I am talking about Jerusalem, and I have heard, I think few months back, Jerusalem was a very important topic in the media at point of time. Now it's a final play in the Wesker trilogy, right? And the Jerusalem in the play's title refers to William Morris' ideas of the New Jerusalem, okay, and has been taken from a poem by William Blake. Now just remember this, there's a poem by William Blake, and the whole William Morris idea of the New Jerusalem has been taken from a poem written by William Blake, and that is all taken by Arnold Wesker, and he wrote, I'm talking about Jerusalem. Okay, it's like third narrative. Now moving on, the play relates the story of Ada and her husband, Dave Simmons. Okay, so there are two characters, Ada and her husband, Dave Simmons, and the couple along with Ada's brother Ronnie and her mother Sarah. Okay, so I have already discussed that, moves into a house in rural Norfolk to live their lives off the grid. So it's all about four characters, and the whole story revolves around them. Just remember that, and you need to remember the characters as well. Do keep in mind. Okay, so the fifth work is Chips with Everything. Now, why it is making me think about food, chips, barley, chicken soup. Okay, so Chips with Everything. Do you like it? 1962 work. The play examines the nature of class consciousness in post-war Britain. Class consciousness it talks about. Okay, so do remember this much information. That is it. Now, moving on to the 6th work, the only title is needed here, The Friends. It's a play. Okay, 7th work is The Merchant. Do remember the titles? Okay, we have done Arnold Wesker. 7th work we have done. Okay, then wait a minute. Yeah, we have done. Now, let's cover John Osborne. John Osborne was born in 1929 and he was died in 1994. He was an English playwright, screenwriter, actor and entrepreneur. Now, a very famous word, entrepreneur. Nowadays, it's a very famous one, and I think few years back, it was a lot more famous. Never mind. The first work is Look Back in Anger. Okay, it's a very famous work. You will also going to get a lot of question in net from this particular work, so do focus on that if you're preparing for net as well. And we are focusing basically on Maharashtra SET, so do remember that this work is going to help in both the exams. It is 1956 work, a realist play. Okay, a realist play. It's very self-explanatory. Even if you don't know, do read a little bit about it. You'll get the idea. I don't need to remember. I need to explain this to you. Okay. Now it's a play that revolves around the life of Jimmy Potter. Like the story revolves around the life of Jimmy Potter. So Jimmy Potter is the protagonist. Okay. He's an intelligent but disillusioned young man in post-war England. The setting is basically post-war England. Okay, so do remember this information. Now, moving on to the next slide. Wait a minute. Yeah. So let me discuss something about Jimmy Potter. Look Back in Anger. So see here. Jimmy, a working class individual, expresses his frustration with the societal norms and class distinctions. Okay. Now, as you know, that a working class individual, Jimmy, expresses his frustration with the societal norms and class distinctions. Like it feels so relatable, right? The plot intensifies when Jimmy's wife, Allison, becomes pregnant and their strained relationship faces further challenges. Now, the story's twist is there that Jimmy's wife got pregnant and the whole plot line faces further challenges, okay? So, amidst Jimmy's verbal tie-ups and resentment, Allison's friend Helena becomes entangled in the emotional turmoil. Now, somewhere Helena basically came and the whole plot line mixed up and the tense situation emerges. Okay, now the play explores themes of love. Like you can when you read it, you don't have to read the whole summary line by line. You just need to know the plot line, what happens, what happens next, or what happened at the end. You need to know, and also you need to cover some of the quotations you will get in the previous year questions. That is it, you need to cover. Now, basically the themes that the play explores, that is of love, class struggle, and the impact of societal changes on personal relationships. How societal changes on personal relationships actually impacts us. Okay, so this story actually teaches a lot of things. This give you actually a fictional overall idea that if this happened, what would happen? What would be the consequences? Okay. Now the fourth, as the characters grapple. Wait a minute. Now, as the characters grapple with their own insecurities and the changing world around them, the play delves into the complexities of human emotions and the harsh realities of post-war Britain. While the progression of the whole story, you will realize that how the characters faces their own insecurities around the changing world. Also, it will delves into the complexities of human emotions. You will understand how the emotions are very complex, human emotions basically, and you'll also face the harsh reality of post-war Britain. Okay. It seems like they are fighting and they will win, somebody will win, and it will be a very romantic environment, but the reality is very different, right? So the harsh reality of post-war Britain, you will get to know if you'll read the whole story. Now the second work is entertainer. The only title is entertaining. The whole story is something else. Okay, it's a play and it has 3 acts. 3 acts. Do remember this. A play that revolves around the character Aki Rice. It's not Rice. Don't be that way. A failing music hall performer in post-war Britain. The whole story around, like when you're talking about John Osborne, it's all about post-war era, post-war Britain. Okay, so there is a person, failing music hall performer in post-war Britain. The whole story revolves around him. The plot explores Aki's personal and professional struggles, reflecting the decline of traditional entertainment and societal changes. Throughout, like while reading about this character, you will get to know that how things were changing after post-war Britain. Okay, after post-war in Britain, basically, personal level, professional struggles of the people, reflecting the decline of traditional entertainment, how traditional entertainment were declining, and how society were changing. You'll get to know a lot. Okay, now you need to remember this much. Now, as Aki tries to navigate his career and relationships, the play delves into the theme of disillusionment, how people feel. Okay, family dynamics and the impact of societal shift on individuals. And the narrative captures the essence of a changing era and the challenges faced by those unable to adapt to evolving cultural landscape. Just imagine your parents. We are in a changing world, right? Things are changing, values are changing. We are in a AI progressive world. But our parents are of different values, right? Different cultures. So it's very difficult for them to adapt these things. The same thing is happening in this particular work. Aki is facing the same difficulty our parents are facing. Even 1950s kids are also facing the same difficulty. They can feel it, and me and you can feel that. Yeah. So now this is all about that. Now the third work is inadmissible evidence. You need to remember the protagonist. Protagonist of the play is Bill Maitland, a 39-year-old English solicitor who has come to hate his entire life. Like there is a person who is an old English solicitor who has come to hate his entire life. He is of 39 years old. Okay. Now another work, fourth work is Patriot of Me, 1965. The only important thing here is to remember is that based on the true story of Alfred Red. It's a true story. It's based basically on the true story of Alfred Red, and that is Patriot for Me. The fifth work is The Charge of the Light Brigade, then The Right Prospectus, then seventh Hedda Gabler. I hope you know this. It's a familiar title. Okay, Deja Vu. Deja Vu is also a movie, but Deja Vu basically means that have you ever experienced that something is happening for the first time, but you are feeling that this happened earlier as well. You are feeling the same thing, like this happened to me earlier. I have felt this way, or the whole incident, the whole environment is very similar to me. It happened to me. You must have felt that way, right? At some point of time, because we feel it. So that is Deja Vu. And it's a final work for the theatre that Arnold Wesker wrote. Now, play is a sequel to Osborne's first successful play. Which one? Look Back in Anger. So do remember that Deja Vu is a sequel of Look Back in Anger. That was written by, of course, John Osborne. Now, we have completed today's lecture. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you very much and all the very best.